3 days after Blake's proposal, Maya found herself standing outside a mansion in the wealthy suburbs of Chicago, her hands trembling. "She's going to see right through us," Maya said, looking down at the engagement ring on her finger. It felt heavy, real, terrifying. Blake squeezed her hand. "She's not going to see through anything because there's nothing to see through. We're engaged because we love each other. That's the truth. The truth with very convenient timing. The truth is still the truth." Blake turned to face her. "Maya, stop overthinking this. My grandmother is intimidating, yes. She's sharp and doesn't miss anything. But she's also fair. And she'll see what's real between us because it is real." Maya took a deep breath. "Okay, let's do this." The front door opened before they could knock. A woman in her late 80s stood there, petite but commanding, with silver hair perfectly styled and eyes that missed nothing. She wore pearls and a cardigan that probably cost more than Maya's car. "Blake," she said, her voice warm but assessing. "And this must be Maya. Grandmother." Blake kissed her cheek. "Thank you for agreeing to meet with us." "Did I have a choice?" But her eyes were twinkling. Come in, come in. I've made tea." The interior of the house was elegant but comfortable, old money that didn't need to show off. Family photos lined the walls. Maya spotted a young Blake in several of them, gap-toothed and grinning. They settled in the living room. "Grandmother Kincaid, call me Dorothy," she insisted, poured tea with practiced grace. "So," Dorothy said, fixing Maya with a look that felt like an X-ray. "Tell me how you two met." Maya glanced at Blake. They'd rehearsed this, but suddenly her mind went blank. "I spilled coffee on him," Maya blurted out. Dorothy's eyebrows rose. "Did you now?" "In the lobby of his building. I was rushing to an interview, not paying attention, and I crashed into him. Ruined his suit. He almost had security throw me out. But he didn't," Blake added, "because I saw her portfolio scattered on the floor. Her work. And I was intrigued. Intrigued enough to hire someone who assaulted you with hot beverages." Dorothy's tone was dry. "Intrigued enough to give her a chance when no one else would," Blake said simply. "She was sleeping in her car, grandmother. Had a business degree, top of her class, but couldn't get hired anywhere. And she was brilliant. So I created a contract position for her." Maya's cheeks burned. She hadn't expected Blake to be so honest so quickly. Dorothy's expression softened slightly. "Sleeping in your car?" "Yes, ma'am," Maya said quietly. "I'd lost my teaching job to budget cuts. Burned through my savings paying for my father's cancer treatments before he died. Lost my apartment. I was doing gig work, barely surviving. That interview with Blake's company was my last shot. And then you spilled coffee on the CEO." "And then I spilled coffee on the CEO," Maya agreed. "Not my finest moment. But you didn't let it stop you," Dorothy observed. "No, ma'am. I couldn't afford to." Dorothy studied Maya for a long moment. "And now you're engaged to my grandson. 3 weeks before his birthday. Right when I happened to have given him an ultimatum about marriage." Here it was. The moment of truth. "Yes," Maya said, meeting Dorothy's eyes directly. "The timing looks suspicious. I know that. Everyone's going to think I'm a gold digger or that Blake's just desperate to keep his company. And honestly, I worried about that too. When he proposed, my first thought was, is this real or is this business? And what did you decide?" "That it's real," Maya said firmly. "Because I know Blake. I've worked with him for almost a year. I've seen him at 3 in the morning stressed about a deal. I've seen him defend his employees when executives wanted layoffs. I've seen him care more about doing things right than doing things profitably. And I've seen the way he looks at me when he thinks I'm not paying attention." Her voice softened. "He loves me, and I love him. The timing might be awful, but the feelings are real." Dorothy was silent for a moment. Then she turned to Blake. "Is this true?" "Every word," Blake said. "I was planning to propose next month, grandmother. I already had the ring. But when you gave me the ultimatum, I realized, why wait? Life's too short. And yes, proposing now saves my company. But that's not why I did it. I did it because Maya is the best thing that's ever happened to me, and I don't want to waste another day not being engaged to her." "You do realize," Dorothy said carefully, "that everyone will question this. The board, the press, society. They'll call her a fortune hunter. They'll call you desperate. They'll say terrible things." "Let them," Blake said. "I know what's real." Dorothy looked between them, her expression unreadable. Then she stood and walked to a cabinet, pulling out a thick folder. "These are the documents," she said. The ones that transfer my shares to Donovan Pierce if you're not engaged by your birthday. Maya's stomach dropped. Was Dorothy about to tell them she didn't believe them? Dorothy opened the folder, pulled out the papers, and calmly tore them in half. Grandmother, Blake started. I'm 87 years old, Dorothy interrupted. I've seen my share of real love and fake relationships. And this. She gestured between them. This is real. Maya felt tears spring to her eyes. You believe us? Of course I believe you. I believed you the moment you walked in. Dorothy smiled, and suddenly she looked much younger. You think I actually intended to sell my shares to that snake Pierce? Please. I was bluffing. Blake's jaw dropped. You were bluffing? Completely. Those documents weren't legally binding. My lawyer was in on it. It was a test, Blake. To see if you'd panic marry some socialite to save your company, or if you'd actually find someone real. Dorothy looked at Maya. And you, dear girl, are very real. I don't understand, Maya said. Blake has been married to his work for 15 years, Dorothy explained. I watched him build that company from nothing, and I'm proud of him. But he forgot to build a life. So I gave him an ultimatum, not because I actually cared if he got married, but because I wanted to see what he'd do under pressure. Would he make a business decision? Or would he make a human one? And he chose human, Maya said softly. He chose you, Dorothy corrected. Which tells me everything I need to know about both of you. She turned to Blake. You chose love over strategy. That's growth. Blake ran his hands through his hair. So I've been panicking for 3 weeks over nothing? Not nothing. Over whether you were ready to prioritize your heart over your ambition. Dorothy's expression turned serious. But Maya, dear, I need to ask you something directly. Did you say yes because you love him? Or because you felt obligated? Because he gave you a job, an apartment, a second chance? Maya had been waiting for this question. She'd asked herself the same thing 100 times. 2 months ago, Maya said slowly, Blake gave me the apartment. Told me it was a business investment, that he needed me sharp and healthy for work. I could have taken it as charity, felt obligated, felt like I owed him. But he made it clear, no strings attached. No expectations. Just a place to live while I got back on my feet. And, Dorothy prompted, and I fell in love with him anyway. Not because of what he gave me, but because of who he is. He sees people, Mrs. Kincaid, really sees them. When everyone else looked at me and saw a homeless woman, a failure, someone not worth their time, Blake saw potential. He saw me. Maya's voice caught. So when he proposed, yes, I questioned the timing. But I never questioned whether I wanted to marry him. Because I do. Desperately. Timing be damned. Dorothy smiled, and this time it reached her eyes. Then welcome to the family, Maya. And please, call me Dorothy. We're going to be seeing quite a lot of each other. Word of Blake and Maya's engagement spread through the business world like wildfire. The reactions were exactly what Maya had feared. Business Insider ***. Kincaid CEO announces convenient engagement weeks before grandmother's ultimatum. Chicago Tribune ***. From homeless to engaged. Marketing director's meteoric rise raises questions. Corporate Watch ***. Love or strategy? Inside Blake, Kincaid's suspiciously timed proposal. Maya read the headlines in Blake's office, her stomach churning. Don't read that garbage, Blake said, taking her phone away. They're vultures. They don't know us. Everyone thinks I'm using you. Everyone is wrong. But the criticism got worse. Social media exploded with speculation. Maya's professional credentials were questioned. People dug up her past, the lost teaching job, the car she'd lived in, the gig work. Every detail was weaponized to paint her as an opportunist. The worst came from inside Kincaid Corporation itself. 3 senior executives requested a meeting with Blake to express concerns about the optics. Vanessa Morrison, the VP of Finance, was particularly vocal. This makes the company look unstable, Vanessa said in the conference room. Maya sat beside Blake, her spine straight, refusing to show how much the words hurt. Your engagement to an employee, a contractor you personally hired after a problematic interaction, raises questions about your judgment. My judgment is fine, Blake said coldly. And Maya is no longer my direct report. She reports to Jennifer. There's no impropriety. The timing is suspicious at best, another executive added. Your grandmother's ultimatum becomes public knowledge, and suddenly you're engaged. My grandmother's ultimatum was a test, Blake said, which she's confirmed. The documents weren't real. There was never any threat to my shares. That stopped them. Vanessa's eyes widened. What? Dorothy called me this morning, Blake continued. She's sending a company-wide memo confirming that her ultimatum was a personal family matter, not a business threat. She's also confirming her full support of my engagement to Maya. So your concerns about optics? They're noted and dismissed. This meeting is over. After the executives left, Maya slumped in her chair. They hate me, she said quietly. They're jealous, Blake corrected. Vanessa has been angling for a promotion for 2 years. The others feel threatened because you're talented and you got here on merit, not politics. Their opinion doesn't matter. It feels like it matters. Blake knelt in front of her chair, taking her hands. Maya, look at me. I need you to hear this. You earned everything you have. The job, the promotion, the success. That's all you. Yes, I gave you an opportunity. But you're the one who ran with it. You saved the Westfield account. You built an incredible team. You revolutionized how we approach marketing. That's not luck. That's talent and hard work. And the engagement? Maya asked softly. Did I earn that too? Or is it just wrapped up in all of this? Blake's expression turned fierce. You earned my love by being exactly who you are. Smart, brave, honest, resilient. You could have been a CEO's daughter with every advantage in the world, and I still would have fallen for you. Because it's not about where you came from. It's about who you are. Maya kissed him, pouring all her doubt and fear and love into it. When they broke apart, she rested her forehead against his. I'm scared, she admitted. Me too. But we're doing this together. Remember? Together, Maya agreed. 2 weeks later, Dorothy threw an engagement party. It was held at her mansion with 200 guests. Family, friends, business associates, and half the Chicago social elite. Maya wore a dress Blake had insisted on buying her, something elegant and simple that made her feel like she belonged. The party was torture. People smiled to her face and whispered behind her back. Maya heard the words "gold digger" at least a dozen times. Saw the looks of skepticism, the raised eyebrows, the knowing smirks. She was standing alone near the bar, needing a moment to breathe, when a woman approached. She was in her 60s, elegant, with kind eyes. You must be Maya, the woman said. I'm Patricia Hensley, Dorothy's oldest friend. Nice to meet you, Maya said cautiously. I wanted to tell you something. Patricia lowered her voice. 40 years ago, I was you. Maya blinked. I'm sorry. I was a secretary when I met my husband. He was a partner at a law firm. Everyone said I was a gold digger, that I'd trapped him, that it would never last. Patricia smiled. We've been married for 38 years. Have 3 children and 7 grandchildren. And you know what I learned? What? People who've never struggled don't understand what it means to fight your way up. They see success as something you're born into, not something you earn. So they can't comprehend that someone like you, someone who's been at the bottom, might actually deserve what you have. Patricia squeezed Maya's hand. But you do deserve it. And the people whose opinions actually matter? They see that. Thank you, Maya whispered, tears threatening. Hold your head high, dear. You've earned your place here. As Patricia walked away, Maya felt something shift inside her. She'd been so focused on what people thought, on defending herself, on proving she wasn't what they said. But she didn't need to prove anything. She knew her truth. Blake knew it. Dorothy knew it. The rest was just noise. Maya straightened her spine and walked back into the party. This time, when people whispered, she didn't flinch. When they raised eyebrows, she smiled. When someone made a snide comment about convenient timing, she simply said, "Yes, we're very lucky," and moved on. Blake found her an hour later, looking proud. "You're doing great," he murmured. "I stopped caring what they think," Maya said. "This is our life. Our choice. Our love. They don't get a vote." Blake kissed her temple. "That's my girl." Dorothy clinked a glass, calling for attention. The room fell silent. "Thank you all for coming," Dorothy said, her voice carrying across the room. "I know there's been speculation about Blake and Maya's engagement. Questions about timing, about motives, about whether this is real." She paused. "So let me be clear. I've known my grandson his entire life. I've seen him make brilliant business decisions and terrible personal ones. I've watched him build an empire and nearly lose himself in the process." The room was dead silent. "But when he brought Maya to meet me," Dorothy continued, "I saw something I haven't seen in years. I saw him happy, truly happy, not successful happy or accomplished happy, just happy. She looked at Maya. This young woman has been through hell. She's lost everything, rebuilt from nothing, and done it with grace and dignity. She didn't need Blake's money or status. She needed a chance. And when she got that chance, she proved she deserved it and more. Dorothy raised her glass. So here's what I know. My grandson loves this woman. She loves him back. They're building a life together. And anyone who has a problem with that can take it up with me. To Blake and Maya. To Blake and Maya, the room echoed. Maya felt tears stream down her face. Blake pulled her close, kissing her in front of everyone. And she didn't care who was watching anymore. This was real. This was hers. And she'd earned every bit of it. 6 months later, Maya stood in the same conference room where she'd first presented the Westfield campaign. But this time, she wasn't pitching to save an account. She was presenting to the board of directors about expanding her department. Marketing has delivered 300% ROI this year, Maya said confidently. We've landed 12 major accounts, revolutionized our social media strategy, and built partnerships that will sustain growth for the next decade. I'm requesting budget approval to hire 10 additional staff members and expand into international markets. The board members looked at each other. Then, one by one, they nodded. Approved, the board chairman said. Excellent work, Director Rodriguez. Maya left the meeting feeling like she was floating. Blake was waiting in the hallway. How'd it go, he asked. They approved everything. Maya couldn't stop smiling. Everything, Blake. Of course they did. You're brilliant. He kissed her. Ready for lunch? Actually, I need to make a call first. Maya stepped into her office and dialed her mother's number. Mija. Ruth's voice was warm. How are you? Mom, I have news. Good news. Maya took a deep breath. I got another promotion. Senior Vice President of Marketing. And with the salary increase, I can finally do what I've been planning. What's that, baby? I'm flying you out here. To Chicago. I found you a great apartment near mine. Already paid first and last month's rent. And I talked to your doctor. There's a specialist here who can help with your arthritis. Everything's arranged. You don't have to work at that diner anymore, Mom. You don't have to worry about bills. I'm taking care of you now. Ruth was silent for so long Maya thought the call had dropped. Mom, I'm here, baby. Ruth's voice was thick with tears. I'm so proud of you. Your father would be so proud. I couldn't have done any of this without you, Maya said, her own voice breaking. Everything you sacrificed, all those years you worked yourself to the bone, it wasn't for nothing, Mom. I made it. We made it. After they hung up, Maya sat in her office, looking out at the Chicago skyline. She thought about the woman she'd been a year ago, sleeping in her car, desperate and hopeless, convinced she'd failed everyone who'd ever believed in her. That woman felt like a stranger now. Blake appeared in her doorway. You told her. I told her. Maya wiped her eyes. She's moving here next month. Good. I can't wait to meet her officially. Blake came into the office, closing the door behind him. You know what today is? Wednesday. It's exactly 1 year since you spilled coffee on me. Maya laughed. Best accident of my life. Mine too. Blake pulled her close. You know what I've learned this year? What? That sometimes the best things in life come from the moments when everything falls apart. You crashing into me, losing control, making a mess. That was the moment everything started coming together. He kissed her forehead. And I'm grateful for every second of it. Maya looked up at him. This man who'd seen her at her lowest and loved her anyway. Who'd given her a chance when no one else would. Who'd believed in her before she believed in herself. I love you, she said simply. I love you too. Always. Maya's story isn't just about a woman who went from homeless to engaged to a billionaire. It's about something deeper. It's about resilience. Asterisk about getting knocked down and choosing to stand back up, even when everything in you wants to stay down. It's about worth, understanding that your circumstances don't define your value. Maya was just as valuable sleeping in her car as she was running a marketing department. She just needed someone to see it. It's about opportunity. Asterisk about how one person giving you a chance can change the trajectory of your entire life. And about how, when you get that chance, you have to run with it like your life depends on it. Because it does. It's about love, real love. The kind that sees you at your worst and doesn't flinch. The kind that helps you become better without making you feel small. The kind that shows up with coffee on your desk and an apartment when you need it and a ring when you're ready. But most importantly, Maya's story is about this. Your past doesn't limit your future. where you've been, what you've lost, how far you've fallen. None of that determines where you can go. You are not your failures. You are not your circumstances. You are not what people assume about you or say about you or think they know about you. You are your resilience, your courage, your refusal to give up when giving up would be so much easier. And sometimes, when you're at your absolute lowest, when you've lost everything and you're down to your last chance, that's when you crash into exactly what you needed all along. Maybe it's a person. Maybe it's an opportunity. Maybe it's just the reminder that you're still here, still fighting, still capable of more than you ever imagined. So if you're struggling right now, if you feel invisible or worthless or like you'll never make it, hear this. Someone sees you. Someone believes in you. And your breakthrough might be one spilled coffee away. Keep fighting. Keep showing up. Keep being honest about where you are while refusing to believe that's where you'll stay. Your Maya moment is coming. If this story touched you, I need you to do something right now. Hit that like button. Subscribe to this channel because every week, we bring you stories that inspire. Share this video with someone who needs to hear it. Thank you for being here. You matter. Your story matters. And someone out there is waiting to see you prove everyone wrong.